You bandit at 12 o'clock high. On your right, bandit bearing 3 o'clock low. Careful, you got them all hot and bothered. Firing all guns. You can't shake me. Someone get this guy off me. I'm breaking up. Careful, you got them all hot and bothered.
Say, Betty, you're a regular wildcat.
Pirate, a battered man with a 9 page, a wooden leg, and a parrot on his shoulder, sailing the wide ocean in search of treasure from unfortunate merchants. Well, you would better forget this image of a pirate quickly. A modern pirate doesn't sail on the sea but flies in their aeroplanes, resides with their clan on massive airships equipped with huge cannons, blasting enemies like their seafaring counterparts and also searching for treasures of immeasurable value. An action-packed flight simulator? Personally, I remember two. F-16 Combat Pilot and the much more famous Raptor. But both games are ancient history and I think this gaming genre was never fully explored. So, Crimson Skies feels like a gift from the heavens. Honestly, the Dam of the Sky Pirate sounds fantastic and after finishing the game, I have to say they really nailed it. It's a shame we didn't see many similar games even later on. The game takes place in an alternate history of the 1930s in the US. You will play as the likable Nathan Zachary, an air pirate who despises fame and fortune and leads the fortune hunters, flying through the skies in the Zeppelin Pandora. As a parallel, you could compare him to Robin Hood, but in this case he didn't really share their spoils with anyone. The targets of their attacks are other pirates and pirate gangs, and by the end of the game, you will essentially join the light side and take down all the bad pirates and save the world, or at least fictional America. The game takes you various locations. First, you will visit the beautiful Hawaiian Islands, where your battles with rival pirate groups will begin, as well as encounters with British colonial ambitions. In the Pacific, you will also fight against the Soviet to save an old friend from captivity. After that, you will head to Los Angeles, where, among other things, you will have to fly through the letter O of the iconic Hollywood sign. You will also venture into snowy mountain regions, confront a rival clan leader, and rescue your dear friend. Finally, you will reach nighttime New York, where you will settle scores with the most treacherous enemies and ensure justice. Those missions are grouped into episodes, takes place on one map. Before each episode, the game presents a short cutscenes to introduce the plot. These cutscenes are very short but well executed, and the voice acting is worth mentioning. Not only in the cutscenes, but before each mission, you will receive a short briefing explaining your objective and often the reason behind it. Thanks to the professional voice acting, you will feel like a true member of the pirate squadron. All the environments are interesting, but the first missions on the Hawaiian Islands are probably the most beautiful and captivating. On the other hand, the nighttime missions in New York are rather frustrating. Not only you don't see much due to the darkness, but objects are also rendered quite close to you, meaning most of the time you are flying through the outlines of streets and then skyscrapers suddenly pop up right in the front of you. Since you don't have much space to fly at a higher altitude in most missions, you will likely get frustrated when you are flying smoothly, only for skyscrapers to appear out of nowhere, giving you no time to react. What definitely deserves praise is the variety of missions. You will start by retrieving treasure from a sunken ship, rescue friends from cars, trains and zeppelins, destroy enemy squadrons and zeppelins, steal enemy plane, destroy infrastructure, protect your Pandora, and even find yourself in a bizarre situation where you have to fly through crazy routes in Hollywood or chase enemy through the streets of New York. And even though the Hollywood missions are roughly halfway through the game, they are among the toughest. For example, you will have to rescue an actress from a moving car, flying slowly and right about it. As the car zigzags along winding roads, it's no easy task. You need to hurry because if you don't save the actress before the car returns to Los Angeles, the mission fails. Or you'll have to fly through a course that includes narrow gaps, bridges, and, at the end, passing through the small letter O in the Hollywood sign. I almost pulled my hair out here. For a mission where you have something like a small helicopter and you have to face strong enemy planes. Here, luck plays a big role. You will need to search for locations where your enemy could be hiding. If he is not there, 2 fighter planes will appear and give you a hard time, and, unluckily, your main enemy will appear with 4 more fighters, setting you up for a real disaster. I got lucky once when the game let me find him on the first try, which I thought was impossible. Individual missions aren't long, usually lasting around 10 to 15 minutes. However, you can save the game during missions, so if you make a silly mistake at the end and crash into something no sane person would, it could be pretty frustrating. If you don't have a calm nature, this will probably happen to you because the game gets quite taut in the middle. To succeed, you will need to buy the right plane and choose suitable weapons and armor. Each plane has different parameters, including maximum speed, how much it can carry, and how maneuverable it is. And you could create a big tank equipped with the strongest cannons and loads of rockets. But what good is that if an enemy's precise volley can shatter you into tiny pieces? And what planes do you have at your disposal? Well, don't expect a vast array, there are only 11. There is no point in listing the names of imaginary planes here, but each one is very different. You could fly a slow, lightly armored craft that resembles a helicopter but has the best maneuverability. Or you could take a super fast fighter jet, but it's only equipped with basic low-caliber missiles. Or you could choose a bomber that barely lifts off the ground. At the beginning, you will only have below-average aircraft, but over time, you will get better ones that aren't slow, are easy to control, and offer enough firepower and armor. You can acquire planes by stealing them during missions. Of course, stealing from a plane isn't easy, so you can only take certain planes that the campaign allows you to within the missions. You can also buy planes with money earned from missions. Each mission rewards you with a set amount of money, and you can earn extra by performing particularly well or pulling off stunts. And honestly, you won't need much money. Just buy the Bridgen, equip it with .60 or 70 caliber cannons, a few rockets for when things get tough, and slap on some solid armor. It's worth investing in high quality cannons because shooting enemy with .30 or 40 caliber guns is pure torture. You don't have many options, just cannons and rockets, so make sure it's worth it. Opponents from different clans won't go easy on you. You can choose from 3 difficulty levels, but even the first one can be quite challenging in certain parts of the game. In addition to regular enemies, you will also face aces, 8 pilots who act as bosses and will give you a real challenge. A moment of inattention, and if they get on your tail, you will be showered with bullets or hit by a well-aimed rocket, and it's game over. But to be fair, you won't be alone in most missions, and your teammates are actually quite helpful. Just as the enemy artificial intelligence isn't completely dumb and tries to evade your shots, your allies are very capable, often holding their own against enemy pirate squads. Unfortunately, the missions where you need their help the most, they tend to fall like autumn leaves. As for the graphics, time has certainly taken its toll, but in higher resolution is not too bad. What's worse is the rendering of objects just in the front of you, but I have already mentioned that. Battles mostly take place in colorful and interesting environments, so you will surely enjoy them. I also haven't yet mentioned the game sounds, which is excellent. The game has its own soundtrack that sounds almost like something from John Williams. No, he didn't compose it, but the orchestra music fits the game setting perfectly. So what are the pros? First, interesting environments. Second, engaging story. Third, unconventional idea of pirates aeroplanes. And the last one, diverse mission objectives. So, and what are the cons? Fewer types of planes and weapons, and object rendering issue in the later part of the game. It's time to take off the eye patch, wooden leg and fake beard and instead put on a nice conductor's uniform. In the next game, we will dive into the fantastic world of building railroads in Railroad Tycoon 2. So, take care and see you next time!